Hi, Vibe Tribe. I'm back in London and I actually am going to be here for quite a little while because ultimately I think I might move here over the next few years just because my daughter and especially my granddaughter are here. So in the spirit of that, I need to spend at least half the year in London. So I don't mind. I actually love it. It's kind of the perfect balance. So half the time in Paris, half the time in London, not a bad life. Anyway, I was thinking about for this week that what might be really good for us, I've certainly been feeling called to do it for myself, is to maybe shake off the dust of my book, Your Heart's Desire, Creating the Life You Really Want, and maybe just doing a refresher on setting our goals and focusing on our creations, because we're growing a lot, we're growing quickly, life is changing. And it really helps to keep checking that compass of what do I want to create now? What do I want to create next? What is most important to me? What is calling me? So I was thinking that I proposed this to my daughters and my son-in-law, and I said, why don't we work this together? And I'm thinking that maybe I would work the Heart's Desire book with everybody as something that we might start in August. So exciting, right? So that gives us a couple of days to start thinking about, well, okay, if I'm going to start working on creating the life I really want, I want to be thoughtful about that. I want to be mindful. I want to be aware. So in this last week of August, which I think is going to go from like tomorrow to next Sunday, let's spend the week really thinking about, okay, first, in Heart's Desire, I say, think about all the things you've already created that have really worked out for you. We want to start this process by first being super aware that we are creators. And what have you created that's wonderful? What have you created that's fabulous, that you feel great about? It doesn't have to be a big deal in the world. It just has to be meaningful to you. So the fact that I was able to create this little tiny apartment, literally it's one room, a block from my daughter in London, I'm very proud of that. It's perfect. And I like the cocoon feeling. I like the simplicity. I like the convenience. I like that I can be so close to my daughter and granddaughter and son-in-law and still have my own space. So that's what I'm talking about. Think about the things you've created. And again, they don't have to be big deals. Don't look for the big impress the world deals. Our lives are what matter to us. So let's start with that. What have I created that really makes me happy? Now, I've of course been working very hard to create the new Trust Your Vibes course, the new Trust Your Vibes book. That was a wonderful recent creation, and I'm very proud of that. Even my Ask Your Guides revision. Both of those books really represent my life's work, and I feel like every single person should have those two books in their life to really help them move into living as a divinely guided, supported being who isn't troubled by what gets in your head. So think about, and I invite you this week to start writing about the things that you've created. Maybe you've created a beautiful garden. Maybe you've created a lovely home. Maybe you've created a great hairdo. Maybe you've created a job you really like. Maybe you've created good communication in your family or with your friends. Or maybe you've actually created something like a book, or maybe you've created a garden or just beautiful food. You know, life isn't about impressing others. Life is about expressing who you are at the deepest level and keeping it current. And our brains get in the habit of deciding who we are and then just parking it and complete. And until we're out of here, we're always becoming a new version of ourselves. And more effective and more beautiful and more creative and more divine and lovely and intuitive and more connected to our guides. So this is what I want you to talk about. What have you created that you really love? I want to start working with the Heart's Desire from this standpoint, because The negative ego brain is always going to be critical and just keep pointing out what you didn't do, what didn't work out, what didn't happen, and can really numb out and just completely ignore the things that we've created that are fabulous. Maybe you created having a nice moment with a stranger and helped them get through a difficult day. Maybe you created fixing a problem in your house. Last week I was in my house and my curtains fell down and I fixed them. I was so happy. I was able to create my own fix instead of having to call someone to come in and do it. Every little creation that makes your life work is what makes your spirit happy. That's what we're here for. And again, it's not the big deals, it's the little deals that really, truly, truly make your life work. And from that, let us then move into thinking about a week from now, we're going to start Heart's Desire as our focus for a month. How wonderful is that? What a great idea. I haven't worked Heart's Desire in a long time, and I want to do it. So let's do it as a tribe, and we'll work the 9 principles. Throughout the month, we'll give maybe 3 days to each principle, and then we'll give a couple of days to setting it up. I'm very excited about that. And so start thinking, not only what have I created, but what would I like to create next? Just start thinking about that. Post it on our tribe page, because when you name it, you claim it. It's really start dialing in. What would I love to create next? What would I love? That is a huge question. The universe is waiting to hear, and we will work this together. So I'm very, very excited for that. And we'll work the Heart's Desire together. But as I said, let's start with what have I created already? What would I love to create next? And how willing are you to put all in, to just really show up? Because that's the other thing that life doesn't necessarily ask of you. You'll have to ask that of yourself. So I'd like for you to think about, where have you shown up in life fully this year? Like really given it your all. I observe so many people frustrated and telling me life isn't working and my intuition isn't working and my vision boards have failed. But what really I've seen is what's failed is that the person who has been so unsatisfied didn't give it their all. You know, there's this part of our ego that wants the universe and others to show up first, and then we'll give it our all. And wouldn't that be nice? But sadly, it simply does not work that way. So where have you shown up? And see if you can make a correlation between where you've shown up fully and what's succeeding. Because 100% is what it takes to, and show up in your heart. That means whether you want to or not, no resentment, no, like, I was watching this Instagram with Matthew McConaughey because I like his, and he was saying, don't do anything half-assed. And I was like, yes, I don't do things half-assed. I'll either do them all in and insanely full, or I won't do them at all. But to do something with your heart not in it, without your intention and full commitment, really is kind of toxic. It'll make you feel crappy. It'll give you the impression the universe isn't helping you. It'll leave you feeling like you're not honest. It'll cause you to come up with lots of excuses. So the other thing, before we have a week to prepare, we'll launch it next Sunday. Well, it'll be the 31st, but we'll start. I want you to think about, are you willing to do something 100%? Because to create your heart's desire is to do something different. Now, here's the exciting thing. If we're all doing it, can you imagine the force of support and the energy we'll collaboratively create as a tribe? Because when you start co-creating with others who are on the same wavelength, you create a unified field, and it lifts you up like no other. But if you do things halfway and half-heartedly, half-assed, as Matthew McConaughey would say, you actually pull the tribe down. So this is an invitation to show up 100%, even if you're not in the habit, and just see how that works out for you. I promise you, it'll work out for you. And we have something very big to look forward to in the month of August. And we have nourished ourselves and will continue to do so. I will continue to give tips and tools, but that altar that I suggested this last week, I really want you to create an altar to the self that you really want to nourish. Not the self that you know is your true self. If you feel like an artist, create an artist altar. If you're a musician, create a musician altar. If you're a writer, create a writer altar. If you're a lover of people, create a relationship altar. If you're a really good healer, create a healer's altar. Acknowledge who you are and create an altar that lets the universe meet you there and help you. Okay, tribe, I am so excited for this inspiration for August, and I'm looking forward to all the inspiration. So please post on the tribe what you've created, where you're going to be all in, and really what your intentions are as we get ready for it, working the heart's desire together. All my love, everybody. See you on the daily.